All right, let's dive into the world of AI. Specifically, we're looking at some really cool advancements in model compression, smaller, faster AI models. And to do that, we'll be focusing on Neural Magic's Compressed Granite 3.1 release.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff
Yeah,
because it really opens up the power of LLMs to, well, everyone, really. Imagine complex AI running smoothly on the devices you already have.
exactly. No more need for these massive server farms everyone's always talking about. But before we jump into all that, I have some breaking news. Neural Magic has partnered with Red Hat.
This is huge EE. Red Hat, they're giants in the open source world. This partnership, this is really a strong commitment to open and efficient AI development.
Yeah.
And you know what? To really kick things off, they're releasing these compressed Granite models as their first joint contribution.
Wow, their first contribution. So tell me more about these models, these Granite models.
Well, Granite, it's a series of large language models, or LLMs, developed by IBM. They're really powerful, but they do require a lot of resources. And that's where Neural Magic steps in, with their compression expertise. They've created essentially leaner versions of these newly released Granite 3.1 models, specifically the 8B and 2B parameter models.
Okay, so they basically shrunk these AI powerhouses. But why is that so important, this model compression? What does it mean for, someone like me?
Well, it means faster response times from all your AI systems. Like imagine if your chatbot could actually keep up with you while you're typing. And it also means that these models could run on less powerful hardware.
Okay, faster responses, less hardware needed. I'm starting to get why this is so cool. But I have to ask, did shrinking these models affect how accurate they are?
Well, that's what's really impressive about all this, even though they're smaller, up to 3.3x smaller. These compressed Granite 3.1 models, they're still 99% accurate compared to the originals. You can actually see it for yourself in the blog post they put out. Figures 1 and 2, they really illustrate how accurate these compressed models are.
99%. That's wild. I did notice, though, in the blog post, there was also something about quantization options. They listed FPW88, INTW8A8, and INTW4A16. Is this where things get a bit more technical?
Yeah, it does get a bit technical, but think of it like this. Quantization, it reduces the precision of the numbers the model uses. It's like if you're measuring something, you could round the measurement slightly, you might lose a tiny bit of detail, but the overall picture, it's still the same. And these different options, they let developers fine-tune the model, like the model size, the performance, and for the hardware they're using.
So like choosing the right tool for the job?
Exactly. And Neural Magic has made all these compressed models ready to use with VLLM. VLLM, that open source inference engine for LLMs. They even put a really simple code snippet in their blog post. It shows you how easy it is to get started.
Wait a minute. So they're just giving these models away?
That's the beauty of open source. All these models are up on Hugging Face under the Apache 2.0 license. Anyone can access them, use them, even modify them.
It's amazing how open source really encourages collaboration and drives innovation. So we know these compressed models are open source, they're readily available, and they perform really well. But what does this performance actually look like, in the real world? Did they actually test these models?
They did. They tested the models for smaller and larger request scenarios, and you can actually see the details in figures 3 and 4 of their blog post. What this means for you is they tested how well these models perform in everyday tasks, like following instructions, summarizing information, even pulling out specific answers from massive amounts of data. It's called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
RAG, huh? It sounds like this compressed granite could really be a game changer for anyone who deals with information overload.
Absolutely. And not only that, these smaller, faster models, they could revolutionize how we interact with AI in general.
All right, let's dive into that a bit more. I want to hear what you think about how all of this translates to real-world applications.
Okay, so imagine this. You have this huge report you have to analyze for work, instead of spending hours reading it yourself. This compressed model, running on your laptop, it could go through it in minutes, summarizing the key points and highlighting the most important information.
Wow, that would be amazing. I'm sure these models would be incredible for virtual assistants and chatbots, too.
Exactly. Faster responses, less hardware needed. AI assistants could be more responsive and accessible than ever before.
This sounds like a major shift in how we interact with AI.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just convenience. These advancements, they could have a profound impact on everything, really. Healthcare, education, even creative industries.
Healthcare, really? I'm having a hard time picturing that.
Well, think about it. What if we had AI-powered diagnostic tools
Yeah.
that were so efficient they could run on portable devices, making them accessible to doctors and patients, even in remote areas? Or what about personalized AI tutors? That can adapt to each student, regardless of where they are or, their background.
That's incredible. It really seems like these compressed models could make AI accessible to everyone.
That's the goal. And the open source nature of these models, it really fosters collaboration and innovation. It's like opening the doors to the AI lab and inviting everyone in.
I love that. So instead of just a few big companies controlling AI development, we could see more diverse community driving innovation.
Exactly. And that's incredibly exciting. Think about all the potential applications we haven't even thought of yet. The breakthroughs that can happen when everyone is working together.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. But how does someone who isn't an AI expert, how do they get involved?
It's actually pretty easy. Start by checking out Neural Magic's blog post. It's a great way to understand the concepts and see the data. And then you can head over to Hugging Face and explore the code.
So even someone with, let's say, limited technical experience could get started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything right away. The open source community is full of people who are willing to help.
It's amazing how the future of AI is becoming so open and accessible. But with all this talk about smaller, faster models, what about the future of edge computing?
Edge computing. That's definitely an area where compressed models could revolutionize things.
I have to admit, I'm not exactly sure what edge computing is.
Well, edge computing basically means processing data closer to where it's created, instead of sending it all the way to a central cloud server. Like, think about your smartphone, or even a self-driving car. They need to make decisions in real time. They can't wait for a server to respond.
So it's all about speed and efficiency, making sure those devices can react quickly to their environment.
Exactly. And that's where compressed models come in. Because they're smaller and faster, we can put them directly onto devices, letting them perform really complex AI tasks without an internet connection.
Wow, that opens up so many possibilities. Imagine smart devices that can learn and adapt.
Precisely. We could see devices that are truly autonomous, making their own decisions based on the data they collect.
That's mind-blowing. What about the ethical considerations of all this? As AI gets more advanced, shouldn't we be thinking about responsible development?
You're absolutely right. It's crucial that we establish clear guidelines for AI development. We need transparency and open discussions about the potential benefits and risks.
So it's not just about technical advancements, it's about using these advancements responsibly.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool, and it's up to us to make sure we're using it for good.
Well, this deep dive has been incredible. We've covered so much. From Neural Magic's partnership with Red Hat, to their Compressed Granite 3.1 models, to the wider implications of model compression and edge computing.
And this is just the beginning.
You're right. This deep dive has given you a taste of what's possible. Neural Magic's blog post, the code on Hugging Face, all those resources are out there for you to explore.
So what are you waiting for? Dive in, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big breakthrough.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive. And so we're talking about AI that can go through all this data and just pull out what you need.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
And it's not just about convenience either.
Yeah.
It could really have an impact on fields like healthcare, education, even creative industries.
Healthcare. How so?
Well, imagine AI-powered diagnostic tools that are efficient enough that they could run on portable devices, so doctors and patients anywhere could have access to them.
That's interesting. What about education?
Personalized AI tutors that could adapt to each student. It could really change how we learn.
It sounds like these compressed models could give everyone access to AI.
Exactly. And that open source nature, it encourages collaboration and innovation. It's like we're opening the doors to the AI lab and inviting everyone in.
So instead of just a few companies controlling everything, we could see a much more diverse community driving innovation.
Exactly. And think about all the applications we haven't even considered yet, the breakthroughs that could happen when we all work together.
It's pretty exciting stuff. But for someone who's not an AI expert, how can they get involved with all this?
Well, you can start by checking out that Neural Magic blog post. It's really a great place to start understanding the concepts. And then, head over to Hugging Face and take a look at the code.
So even if you don't have a lot of technical experience, you can still play around with these models.
Absolutely. And remember, the open source community is really helpful. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's what's so great about this. It's making AI accessible to everyone. We've been talking about smaller, faster models. What about edge computing?
Edge computing. That's a really fascinating area. And it's an area where these compressed models could really have a big impact.
I have to admit, I don't really know what edge computing is.
It's basically about processing data closer to where it's generated, instead of sending it off to some, central cloud server. Think about like your smartphone or a self-driving car. Those devices need to make decisions right away. They can't wait for a server to respond.
So it's about speed and efficiency, making sure that devices can uh, react quickly.
Exactly. And that's where these compressed models are so important. They're small and fast enough that we can put them directly onto devices, which means those devices can perform complex AI tasks without needing a constant connection to the internet.
Wow, that opens up a lot of possibilities. Smart devices that can learn and adapt on their own.
Exactly. We could see devices that are truly autonomous,
Yeah.
making their own decisions based on the data that they collect.
That's really incredible. But with AI becoming, more and more integrated into our lives, what about the ethical implications?
That's a really important question. We need to establish clear guidelines for AI development.
Yeah.
Transparency, open discussions about the risks and benefits.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about making sure that we're using it responsibly.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool,
Hmm.
and we need to make sure that we're using it for good. It really is like almost mind-blowing. Devices that can think for themselves,
Yeah.
learn and adapt without needing, a central authority.
It's like they have their own brain. Well, what kind of impact could that have on different industries, like healthcare, for example?
Yeah, and healthcare could be huge. Imagine medical devices that could analyze data in real time, giving doctors instant insights. We might even be able to predict health issues before they happen.
Wow, that's amazing. What about other areas like manufacturing?
Manufacturing is another area where it could be a game changer. You could have smart sensors on factory floors,
Yeah.
monitoring equipment, optimizing production, even predicting when maintenance is needed.
So we're not just talking about faster AIs, it's a completely different way of thinking about technology.
Yeah, it's a shift away from that centralized intelligence to
Yeah.
a more distributed model.
But with AI becoming so pervasive, what about the ethical side of all this? As AI gets more integrated into our lives, shouldn't we be thinking about, responsible development?
You're right. That's a really important point. It's absolutely vital that we establish clear guidelines for AI development. Transparency is key, and open discussions about the potential benefits and the risks.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure we're using it responsibly.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground today.
It really shows how fast AI is advancing, and like I said earlier, this is just the beginning.
Exactly. This deep dive was just a taste of what's possible. Neuromagic's blog post, the code on Hugging Face, all those resources are out there, just waiting for you to explore.
So what are you waiting for? Go check it out. Maybe you'll be the one to discover the next big breakthrough in AI.
That's all the time we have for today. But until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Thanks for joining us.